Evening all, Ollie back with Koi Pond update number 10. I'm going to keep this one shorter than normal. Just going to sort of walk you through what's coming next really. We've got three main things. We've got cladding, coping stones and air source heat pump. So the air source heat pump has been delayed. It was sort of supposed to be arriving next week, but because of the Suez canal and stuff, it's been delayed a little bit. I think there were ship numbers on like 222 out of 400 in the queue, so that's kind of thrown that backwards a little bit. So today I have been preparing the pond for the cladding, which I should hopefully begin tomorrow and finish this weekend perhaps. Mainly depends on weather, to be honest. The weather's supposed to be pretty crap, I think from sort of Sunday onwards. So granted that rain sort of stops, we should be able to get most of it done. Let me just show you. So what I've been doing at the moment is just battoning all the way down for this cladding that I've got, which turned up a couple of days ago. Cladding that I've got is this Canadian Cedar, which is phenomenal, which I'll show you shortly. So I need to add like sort of another batten sort of over there, and then there's a couple of other sort of battens that I need to do on the other side. So these are 25 by 50 mil. I think normally it's recommended that your batten thickness should be twice what your cladding thickness is. My cladding thickness is 18 mil, but considering I've got sort of 30-40 mil gaps between, I just need to finish battening sort of along the bottom line there as well, and throw another sort of batten down that length there, and then decide what to do with this, because this is going to be a bit awkward. I kind of wanted to box it off, but because of the way the coping stones are coming and stuff, kind of poses a bit of a problem. The coping that I ended up going for, I ended up getting sort of a couple of samples here. This, which is the generic cleft black slate, which is kind of just a rough edge. I think you then got this, which is the cleft blue grey, which I quite like that, to be honest. It's much smoother. Then you had this I think it's this, yeah, Mont Black Mottle, which extremely smooth but very, very expensive. And then the premium top notch Welsh. And this stuff is honestly lovely. The best way that I can explain it is if you ever had sort of soft touch paper, you know, paper that when you touch it's really soft and fuzzy and it feels lovely on your fingers. But I could sit here and stroke this for hours, honestly. But it would have cost me almost 3 times the amount to get this than it would to get this stuff over here. So in the end, I've gone for this. I've got a company that's sort of custom cutting it all for me, which is very nice, which, you know, very, very happy about. They're gonna bevel both edges, top and bottom, on the inside and outside as well, and we're gonna sort of butt joint it, so it's gonna sort of run along here, then one full length down there, another full length along here, and so on and so forth. The only slight issue I've got is that's actually not going to sort of turn up until middle of next week, hopefully, which means that although I'll be able to do the sort of cladding on this face wall here, the long length sort of down here, and the same with down here on this side as well. Trying to do the inside of these, ideally I kind of want to get it as close to the coping as possible while still allowing for like an expansion gap. And you know, I can guesstimate, okay, you know, it's going to be 30 mil thick and it's going to have like a 10 mil bed on top, because I'm not using the sort of common things like 3-to-1 sort of sand and mortar, sand and cement even to make a mortar. I'm actually just going to use adhesive tile adhesive instead, so sort of aim for like a sort of 10 mil bed for that, and it should hopefully stick to it a lot better. And it means that should I get any in the pond by accident, it's not going to be the end of the world, hopefully. So yeah, that should hopefully come out really nice. You'll see here that I have actually managed to fix the leak. I ended up SDSing all the way around it. It was an absolute ball ache, and it did leak for a little while. I siliconed it, still leaked. Siliconed it more, still leaked. So I siliconed the fuck out of it, and it still leaked for a couple of days, and now it's actually stopped, which is great. Fish are doing really well, really happy. I have just fed them. Some of the colours on them are coming through lovely. Hopefully, you know, the sort of warmer weather that we've had recently has been helping. The Usagi is still my favourite, but you know, there's the Kikakuryu there. We've got the Kohaku coming up here, the Shisui. What is this? Yeah, Shisui. Yeah, you know, we've got the Kigoi and the name's gone from my head. I've lost it. So yeah, it's been pretty busy. So we've still got some more battoning to do, other than the stuff that I just said. We've actually got to batten the entirety of this as well, and halfway down sort of to this sort of height here. Wait, no, this height here, even to this sort of line here. So batten that down there, because we've got enough cedar to clad the entire lot, which should tidy stuff up nicely. And then next weekend, what we're going to do along here is we're going to take out this brick wall along here. We're going to run some long sleepers that are going to sit underneath the cladding with, you know, again, very small gap to the front of the pier. We're going to have another one that sort of runs straight along the front there, and then that's going to run down to the fence line over there, all the way down there. We're going to take out some of these here. We're going to keep this here, which is the hibiscus, which is lovely when it flowers, and so we're then going to sort of shorten the bed here and then make it so that there's actually a step down over there, because you can see how sort of, well, how much it sort of changes. You know, these are all in line with each other all the way along, and by the time you get down to the bottom, it's almost like, you know, just a block and a quarter that's down there. So we're going to have it completely nice and level, which means it's going to fit very nicely with all the cladding and stuff once that's done, and hopefully look a lot better. I think I'm going to try and get some form of like grill guttering to run along here as well, just because water tends to sort of sit around there, so maybe sort of pea shingle it and then have like a sort of grill form of guttering, which sort of, if possible, sort of slopes down that way as well and throws it off over there, because don't really mind if that gets wet. So I'm just going to quickly go to the garage, and I will show you this cedar cladding. Honestly, it's phenomenal. I mean, I love wood anyway, okay, but it is like, it's phenomenal. You know, it smells so good, almost to the point you kind of want to eat it, which, you know, I wouldn't recommend, but you want to. So I'll be back in 1 minute. And I am back, and this is some very beautiful Canadian cedar. As you can see, I've got an absolute ton of it here, which is currently filling up my my garage. Some very long length runs, as you can see. I somehow, yeah, honestly, this is such a mess. But what I thought I'd do is I'd put a bunch together like this. Let's see if I can stand back a bit further so that you could see the different colouring patterns on it. It is lovely. I think the pinks and stuff on this is just beautiful. As you can tell, I'm very enamoured by this. It's Canadian Cedar, which I think is grown for 100 years, slow grown. There's virtually you know, no knots whatsoever, and even when they are, like, it is actually minuscule. So clear, it's so resinous. Those you know, I think you can see on like the ends of it, for instance, you can see sort of the white resin from where it's been cut and stuff. So this is the actual profile on it. So you've got this here, which connects to the next board, and then on the rear side here, you've just got where the other one sort of rivets into it. I've had to get some stainless steel screws for these, because if you use anything else, it's not really the rust that's the problem, to be honest, because you can use zinc coating and stuff, but if the zinc coating goes or is scratched or anything else, it turns the wood black around that area, which is not very nice. You know, considering it's quite a premium material, it's you might as well spend the extra on getting the stainless screws. I still haven't fully decided as to how much I'm going to treat it. The plan was, originally, I was going to create sort of some triangle based stands, have it sort of hanging from that, and I was going to treat both sides twice each, including the cut corners and stuff like that. And then I realised that the pond wall isn't wet. The entire thing's covered by a pergola, so at worst it gets a light bit of rain spattering, and then on top of that it's got coping stones over the top as well, which have drip grooves in them and stuff, so it's only gonna, you know, it's ambient moisture, which, you know, not really a problem, and it's gonna have all sort of gaps behind it of sort of 25 mil, which is more enough to allow air through it anyway. So I don't think I need to treat the rears or the corners. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it down to size, get it put on, and then I'm going to test treat, sort of offcut, and see how the colour change is. You know, naturally it's going to silver sort of the more sort of UV light that it affects, which I personally don't mind, but the other half is quite keen on keeping it the natural sort of colour, and now I've actually seen how it looks, I don't want that to silver, to be honest. So what I've got, hang on, is I've got this Treatex Cedar oil. Now hang on, let me just switch the camera around so you can see better. So yeah, what we've got is this Treatex Cedar oil here, which is, I think I've got 3 of them in total, which is absolutely overkill, because one probably would have done the entire lot, but they sold it for so much cheaper than where you buy it elsewhere. It almost seemed like a no-brainer to spend on it. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of woodworking going on, that's for sure. There's another sort of colour there. So it seems like you've got sort of like 3 colours in total, from what I could tell. Let me just get this one out a second. Come here, you get. I'll put that over here. So yeah, it's almost like you've got 3 sort of colours. So you can see this one here is a sort of nice brown with sort of mottled pinks throughout. This one's, I mean, it's almost like beach, but it's like a very like pink hue to the entire thing. And then you've kind of got like a sort of almost like light oak colour, as you can see here. But all of them have this mottled pink throughout. So as you could probably tell, I am super excited to be able to get this on the pond. I mean, it's gonna be absolutely great, honestly. I genuinely can't wait. The only other thing which I haven't shown you, if I go in here, is I've actually got all these corner profiles as well. So where the wood's gonna sort of butt together, so you know it's gonna, oh God, it's difficult. How's that? Yeah. So where the wood's sort of gonna almost butt together like that, we're then gonna have these corner profiles which are gonna sit on the outside, and that'll sort of help protect it, but also look really clean, considering it's gonna be Canadian Cedar as well. So super exciting stuff. I'm gonna be so busy this weekend trying to crack on with this, but I will update you as soon as I can. I think it's probably going to be a case that we're going to do the majority of the outside of the pond at least, because the field house can wait a little bit, and then wait for the coping stones to come so that I can then get those put in on the sort of window sills where the sort of glass is on the pond, and then at least that way I can then finish the inside and then throw the corner profiles on, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's oh, that was almost me over. I completely forgot about one other task actually. I grabbed a bunch of pipe lagging for my air source heat pump, which turned up. I grabbed it from pipelagging.com. I did try to email them to get them to help me, which took them over 10 days to respond, even with me sort of chasing stuff. So I was like, fuck it, and just started ordering it myself and sort of worked it out, which wasn't too bad, but you know, it would have been nice to grab some of their advice. So I sort of got, it's this stuff here. I think it's called Armorflex or something like that. They have stuff which is designed for outdoors. It was like £4 for, no sorry, it was like 12 or 13 pounds for a 2 meter length just for 2-inch pipe work, which to me is, you know, I'm happy to spend the money where possible, but this stuff is almost half the price. And the thing is most of my pipe work's hidden behind the wall, underneath the pergola and stuff like that, and it doesn't really get that much of the elements. So I figured I'd give it a go anyway, see how this stuff goes on. You know, might have to eat my words here, and actually I should have spent the money on the other stuff. You can get a paint for this which makes it UV resistant and stuff, but I figured I'd just give it a go and see how it goes on. And I'll put some on literally like this, and within like a couple of minutes my hand was almost sweating inside of it. It does seem like phenomenal stuff. I'm not sure how well you can find me that light. How you can see there's loads of tiny little holes, but it's really, really soft, very flexible and pliable. But I think this is the 3-inch pipework stuff. So what I need to do is basically create a slit. I'll probably do it on this edge here actually. Slit, put it over the pipe, and then I've got some weld stuff which came with it, which I'll then use to weld it together, which hopefully I'll do a better job of than I did my pipe work. So yeah, there's this stuff I've got as well. It's like this sort of it's like sticky tape which has the foam on it as well, so you know, for awkward corners and stuff like that, I'll do that with. Although stupidly they actually stapled it, which to me seems absolutely stupid, if I'm being honest. Because okay, yeah, it's just a small bit of, you know, small staple, but well, they've now created holes in it, and the entire point is that it's supposed to not have any, you know, holes or anything like that, which is why they recommend that you seal it up. So a bit annoying, but it is what it is. So actually 4 tasks in total, which is finish battoning and then cladding. It's technically that's actually 2, but we'll combine that into 1. We've got we'll keep that as 2. The air source heat pump, and now we've also got the pipe lagging. No, technically it's 5 because of coping stones. Clearly I can't count. Bank holiday, you know, I'm knackered. But so 5 tasks in total: pipe lagging, battoning, cladding, air source heat pump, coping stones. So it's going to keep me very busy, and I know my fish will hopefully appreciate it, but we will see how it goes. So that's all from me today. I'll update you as soon as the cladding goes on, but that's pretty much Ollie over and out. See you later.